Hello YouTube, Eugene here with a review on the Kaitou Sentai Lupinranger vs Keisatsu Sentai Patranger DX Hammer Da Fighter. Yes friends, let's go ahead and take a look at the content since we don't have a box here. And so here we go. Here is the Super Sentai Data Cardist that comes with the Hammer Da Fighter, and pretty much has just a nice picture of the Lupin Kaiser with the Hammer Da Fighter. And then here is the back. And then the Hammer Da Fighter does come with instructions, but anyway, here's what it says. It says here, Kaitou Sentai Lupinranger vs Keisatsu Sentai Patranger VS Vehicle Series DX Hammer Da Fighter. And pretty much it's showing us how the Hammer Da Fighter works. And then on the back here, more fun with it, and pretty much everything we'll be seeing in this review. So in episode 11 of Lupinranger vs Patranger, there was a gender swap of the Blade Da Fighter to become this, the Hammer Da Fighter, but only lasted 3 minutes thanks to the Pitchcock, which was one of the gangler monsters, but returned to normal after his defeat. Also friends, episode 11 of Lupinranger vs Patranger was about the whole gender swapping deal. So friends, the Hammer Da Fighter in the toy standard was part of the campaign when you purchase any VS vehicle, and I got him when I purchased the Scissors Da Fighter and Blade Da Fighter, and so this is how the campaign works. And so if you got him with any VS vehicle, he doesn't cost a thing, so he might be pricey in the secondary market in the upcoming future. So anyway, so the Hammer Da Fighter is a remold and retool of the Blade Da Fighter. So as you can see, the color scheme is different, and the color scheme is nice with that nice orange and some nice detailings here, mainly on this body part of the Hammer Da Fighter. Really nice here. You can see got the lime green for the cockpit there, which is a nice touch there. I do like the color scheme on this one. It's a little bit different. You know, like I said, it's definitely a remold, retool, recolorization of this Da Fighter. But anyway, and then the dial. The dial is a beautiful, nice chrome gold, which I find better than the silver we had in the past, but very shiny and very nice. I really like that. I mean, it's very shiny. You can probably see my reflection from my camera. But anyway, on the bottom, there is our rail system, and we have 028 and 2429900 stamped in front of the rails there. So, and then we have the same thing here where we can actually see the dial. Of course, I can turn it and you can see me move it. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and bring out the Blade Da Fighter just to pretty much just to see the similarities between the two. And anyway, of course, instead of the blade bits, we got the hammer bits on the Hammer Da Fighter. This one here's got the blade bits, and you know, it's a big difference. And of course, you can see the body is a little bit different on the two there. I think they excluded this part off, and you know, we're seeing a different body pretty much. And you know, like I said, and the bodies are recast in different color plastic, and you know, from what I gather, of course, and I'll show you an example, but the Hammer Da Fighter can plug into the Scissors Da Fighter, so which explains a lot here. And you know, of course, this part does plug into that dial here. But anyway, and the one thing I did notice too is the cockpit between the two. You can see the cockpit on the Blade Da Fighter is half painted, and the cockpit is fully painted. So not really much of a big difference, but anyway, so so now I'm gonna go ahead and show you the attack mode, and pretty much all you gotta do for the Hammer Da Fighter is just close it in like this, and that's it. Now, my one little gripe I do have with this is this gap in the center here. I kind of wish there was like a peg to like close it in tight, but it is what it is. But anyway, so yeah, this is the attack mode, and this is pretty much the formation you'll have with Lupin Kaiser or Lupin Kaiser Knight. So let's go ahead and revert it back into its Da Fighter mode. Now let's go ahead and hear the sounds of the Hammer Da Fighter in the VS changer. So here we go. Oh yeah, hammer! Alright, let's crank it up. Huh? Okay, so probably the same thing what we had to do with the blade dial fighter, so here we go. Alright, let's do it. And hit the trigger. Ooh, I love that. So let's hear the trigger and see what else happens. Oh, I like that. That cartoony hammer sound. I love it. Love it. So now let's go ahead and summon the hammer dial fighter. Love it, love it, love it. I love the sounds that come off of these VS vehicles. I really do. And one more time. Now I'm going to go ahead and have the hammer dial fighter in Lupin Kaiser Knight's hand. So I'm pretty much doing something similar on what they did in episode 11 of Lupinranger vs. Patranger. So we'll go ahead now and get it prepped up here. So pretty much the same thing here. Now before I go ahead and put it in Lupin Kaiser Knight's hand, here the difference between both of them, the blade dial fighter in his attack mode and the hammer dial fighter in his attack mode. And you can see definitely a remold, retool, recolorization of the two. But anyway, so let's go ahead and place this in Lupin Kaiser Knight's hand. And there you go. And so here you go with Lupin Kaiser Knight with the hammer dial fighter in his hand. And not really much of a difference in the mecha. Of course, now we got some orange and some lime green and some gold we're seeing here added to the mecha. But all around cool. I really got to say I do love the hammer dial fighter. And to say that this was only in one episode, but you never know. We may get lucky in the future of Lupinranger vs. Patranger, and the hammer dial fighter may make another return. So. Well, friends, my final thoughts on the hammer dial fighter, and I pretty much gave you all my input on all journalists review on how I feel about the hammer dial fighter, but a very nice remold, recolorization, and retool of the blade dial fighter. I think that was really, really cool and everything. And I guess pretty much going along with what they did in episode 11 of Lupinranger vs. Patranger. But friends, I'm still tickled of the sounds that came off of the hammer dial fighter in the VS changer, and I love that cartoony hammer sound. I love it. And one thing I will talk about this is, of course, there is no tab whenever you crank the dial in both the blade and the hammer dial fighters. So clearly you would have to just hit that button on the VS changer that does the code thing to actually do the code, pretty much. But anyway, do I highly recommend this? Yes, I do, and I'm hoping to God you get these. You get this with your purchase of any VS vehicle. But if you didn't, check out the secondary market and just watch your price on paying for the hammer dial fighter in the secondary market. And so all I can say is, friends, good luck and happy hunting. And like I said again, I do highly recommend the hammer dial fighter. It goes so well with the rest of your VS vehicles, and mainly if you are a Team Lupinranger, then go pick this guy up. And so anyway, well, friends, that's it for this review. Let's check out my blog, follow my Twitter, and to like my Facebook. And make sure, friends, you hit that bell icon to be notified when I upload a new video. And of course, my friends, this review on the Kaitou Sentai Lupinranger vs. Keisatsu Sentai Patranger DX Hammer Dial Fighter. I hope you enjoy. Well, friends, I'm Eugene, and I'm signing out, and hope you have a good day. And my friends, I most assuredly see you next time. Bye.